Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of the BJ Show. This is the BJ Show, Footy Show, and breaking news. So welcome aboard. So we start off with let's just say we have the final and we have the results for the Suncorp Super Bowl. You can see the Melbourne Vinny were at John Cain Arena for their second chance, one step closer, and they fortunately did not beat the LA Thunderbirds in Adelaide, and they're hosting the West Coast Fever. Hope to go back to back, but unfortunately this game was the final. We are here for the result previews, and fortunately, it was the final score of 62-51. Melbourne drew the Melbourne Phoenix, defeated West Coast Fever. 11 goal, but pretty high standard. There have not been close games, and I thought West Coast had a chance. But the fact that Melbourne Phoenix are back, yes, it isn't. We'll share the Leavius, who I think is going to win this game, and the winner to take on the LA Thunderbirds in Melbourne will be the Melbourne Phoenix. So the winner is Melbourne Phoenix. Yep, and well done. So let's get into our predictions. And West Coast Fever, you had a pretty good season, but I am backing up all for next year. And yeah, all right, time to get into the previews. 2026 Suncorp Super Australian Netball. And we have arrived for the 2026 Suncorp Super Net Grand Final previews, which are a lot to cover in this episode. So let's get straight into the previews. I did not see the other Thunderbirds even making to the Grand Final. They had a very strong season. First time in so long. So we do have, this game will be at John Cain Arena, which is in Melbourne. And I think it's going to be a really battle. I think it's going to be a lot closer than people think to be a really good game. LA Thunderbirds and the Melbourne Phoenix, we got head to head. I think it's going to be a really good game, and I really think it's going to be a close one. So my prediction is this could be a great game to watch. So I'm going to stick with the LA Thunderbirds with the win, taking home the silver. So hopefully it'll be a great crowd as well at John Cain Arena. The other Thunderbirds with my prayers for 2026 Suncorp Super Netball review. With both teams of the LA Thunderbirds and the Melbourne Phoenix, all the best for the 2026 Suncorp Super Netball Australian Grand Final. Alright, trying to move on. Some Aussie rules football, and that's the main purpose of today. Reason why I'm sharing this, because big interesting, and now let's go there now. That's right. We have the SANFL State Football where I'm going to introduce to all the results round 12. The set the Women's League, they are round 9, so I don't have them on my screen. I'm very unsure why which round is 16 to 18 reserves and league. So you can see why I've chosen the under 16 to 18s, the women's, etc. So first up we have the under 16s, and why I have decided to share a little bit of this, because we do have a junior football program which is fantastic in South Australia. So we have the same teams that let's go through their pathway clubs. So first game was Woodville West Torrens Eagles and West Adelaide Blood. Final score 8-5, 53, 18, 9, 117. West Adelaide Bloods with the win. Dirtdale Blues and Glenelg Tigers, these two don't ever have a really good rider. They have a great Glenelg Tigers under 16s, 10-14, 74. Dirtdale Blues, 10-8, 68. Well done there. Lord Red Legs, South Adelaide Panthers up there. It's 10-13, 73. Lord, 9-7, 1 12 point victory to the Lord Red Legs. And Central District Bulldogs and North Adelaide Roosters, absolutely 105 point victory to North Adelaide Roosters. Final score here is 4-4, 28-20, 13, 1, 33. That's your under 16 12 results. So we are up to our next results under 18s 12 was round. That's the same as round under 16s, Woodville West Torrens, West LA Bloods. This winner went to Woodville West Torrens Eagles, 13-8, 86, 10-8, 68. Well done to Woodville West Torrens Eagles with the win. Sturt Blues and Glenelg Tigers. It was Glenelg Tigers taking his win with 8-6, 54 defeated, 15-6, 96. Well done to Glenelg Tigers with that win. North Red Lakes and South LA Pandas, another blowout, one of the biggest blowouts for this round. North Red Lakes 17-18, 123, 7-25, a 95-point victory to North Red Lake. And this is quite interesting. Central District and North Adelaide Roosters. North Adelaide Roosters got defeated. Central District with the win, 14-12, 96, 7-8, 50. They are your round 12 results for the under 18s. Let's get into some women's footy. So your round 9 result. North Adelaide Roosters and Glenelg Tigers go head to head. Final score here is 48, 32, 139. Well done to North Adelaide Roosters with the win. Central District Bulldogs and West Adelaide Bloods 13-point victory to Central District Bulldogs 15-3, 33, 32, 20. The next game, Woodville West Torrens Eagles and North Red Lake. North Red Lake's taking a holding 11-point victory. 48, 32. To 6 goals, 7 behinds, 43. And final score, the Blues and South LA Pandas. Final score here is 75, 47, 2, 14. But under the Blues, they'll win. We're now almost there. 2 more results for the Sample update. Round 12 results continue with Glenelg Tigers and Sturtdale Blues. This was absolutely a blowout to Glenelg. 19 goals, 6, 120 defeated at 7-5, 47. Glenelg with the win. North Adelaide Roosters and Central District Bulldogs 9-6, 60 to 9-11. 5 Central District was the win there. Well done there. With the 1 point, and this was all close games. West Adelaide Bloods and the Woodville West Torrens Eagles 8-12, 60. West Adelaide Bloods 9-7, 61. Woodville West Torrens Eagles. Well done there. And the final score and final game. South Adelaide Pandas and North Red Lake. South Adelaide were up. They were up and around about 20 points during the final quarter. North came home with the win 7-10, 52, 8-8, 56. North Red Lakes. Well done to all the winners there. Alright, let's get into the league. Mostly round 12 results, and boy, there's some really good results there. The moment we've been waiting for is the league, and I went to one of the games. I'll share that very in a moment. But I'm going to share the results of the Glenelg Tigers and Sturtdale Blues. There's your first one. Glenelg Tigers 11-point victories. They are looking very strong at the moment. They go to 11-11, 77, 10-6, 66. That is a very good, solid performance from Glenelg at home with the win. North Adelaide Roosters and Central District Bulldogs. A big win here for Central District. Big winners, big margin for the season. 8-7-55 to 10 goals, 16-76. We have West Adelaide Bloods and Woodville West Torrens Eagles, the biggest upset for the round, taking a 7-goal victory, 14-7 Wood. West Adelaide Blood taking a very solid victory there. Showdown, Sample Showdown is up next. Port Adelaide and the LA Crows. Final score here is 12 goals for 77, 19 goals, 129. When LA Crows was the win, and this is the game I went to. Same score, same result for the South Adelaide Pandas Reserves and Nelswell League games. That South Adelaide scores 7 goals, 12-54. North Red Lakes 20 goals, 130. Big winners there with the North Red Lakes. And I went to that game, and I got to say, every quarter, every margin, we led every quarter. South Adelaide had their moments, but the skills of North Red Lakes cannot go past them in a mile. So well done to Glenelg, Central District Bulldogs, West Adelaide Bloods, LA Crows Reserves, and then as well North Red Lakes. Alright, let's get into our AFL update. Thursday night footy round 16, 2026 AFL 26th season. We are in Brisbane. We got the Brisbane Lions hosting the Sydney Swans. The game of the round really maybe wasn't our game of the round, but you never know, because Brisbane were going to be challenged with Sydney as well. Sydney to Brisbane. We don't know how these two will coming to the second half of the season. You can see right now Thursday night at the Gutter. 1912 and 120, 12, 11, 84. These two met in final series, and my goodness, it was all Brisbane. Brisbane, well done on the victory in front of your supporters. Big one was the final score from the first quarter to the last quarter. Final score went to Brisbane. Brisbane are back in action 100%. They are very, very strong when they are playing England. They struggle against a team like Geelong, and Geelong hooked them over the advantage. Interesting stuff. Stay tuned for that game very soon. But Sydney, Brisbane were better on the night. They won the first quarter to the final quarter. And they had their moment during that game. They took their moments, took the actions, and unfortunately, Brisbane were better. But Sydney, never know. They'll bounce back, but surely they'll. And that's what good teams do. But I'm not out of Sydney's contention. They are right in the mix. Really, really solid far. And now if it's enough important, I'm going to share who's going to play who. So Brisbane will Geelong. They look a bit more stronger, but you never know. It's a 50-50 though. One of the games of the round with Sydney and Dogs at the SCG. One's in Geelong, one's in Sydney. One will be on Thursday night, one will be on Friday night. What a great play. Two of the games between Brisbane and Sydney. First player of the game, I am going to give it to Will Ashcroft. Includes 134 AFL fantasy, 30 disposals, 7 marks, 7 tackles, 8 score involvement, 548 metres game, and 8 clearances. Our player is back in and had a really not the best season I've seen in such a long time. Since he's played AFL football, he's had a not but a season that he's going to be looked over in coming the second half of the season. He's back in action, and against Sydney's best player is Isaac Henry, including 126 AFL fantasy, 3 disposals, 8 marks, 6 tackles, 7 scoring involvement for 7 clearances. Very similar results. Both teams did not kick goals, but they got competition to get them inside 50 so many times. So well done. That's right, well done to Will Ashcroft and for the Brisbane Lions and the Isaac Henry from the City Warren, well done to both the school players from each club. Alright, let's get into our next game. Friday night footy. We love how much we just having a stand alone with the MCG, Hawthorn and GWS Giants. Final game for this result in 82, 14-point victory with over the Hawthorn Hawks. Hawthorn, good win. Is over the Giants, and here's the win. That's huge. This is massive. But my biggest question is, GWS Giants make the finals this year? Have they got the chance to play finals? Do they have the players? Do they have the strength to play September football? Well, we'll find out that later in the season. But I'm really unsure about putting the Giants in the finals. I'm really of the race, but it is still a touch too early. I have definitely put Hawthorn in my top 4 by far. They are going to finish very strong on a note for the rest of the competition, and that is a very true fact. But in my thought, this could go to Hawthorn to GWS Giants at the end this stage of this game by fact. I did watch parts of the game, but I didn't really find this crowd was a big crowd at the MCG. But it's a fantastic to see the Giants do play Friday night footy. We want to see non-Victorian teams do play and they have a chance for that. So, my next part, Hawthorn. This is now we're going to come into that and then we'll do players of the game. So, Hawthorn's next few games. I'm going to share this next, I've done this since this game, but Melbourne Demons at home, Carlton away, Richmond away now. They're both at the MCG or at Marble, wherever the stadium is, as well Essendon, they'll as well. Now, that's for Hawthorn's point of view. So, I reckon 3 out of 3 is Hawthorn to win. They are winnable games. Hawthorn with Melbourne Demons, anyone's to win. That's the unsure margin, just generally. Giants, the GWS Giants next few games are 3 at home. That'll be a test. Geelong, that'll be a test in them. That's a winnable game. As for Sydney at home, their 44th Sydney Derby, that could be 50-50. So I expect the Essendon game should be a win for the Giants. Essendon could show up. So now it's time to fly in to the Hawthorn and GWS. The first up is Hawthorn's January Comey. Well done, include 31 disposals, 3 marks, 4 tackles, 103 AFL fantasy, 8 score involvements, 15 clearances, and with centre bounce attenders as well. I'm sure the sack for that, but that was the Hawks. Now we come to the Giants. Cunt Oliver, 34 disposals, back in Melbourne. Really a good performance with 9 tackles, 3 marks, 1 goal. 129 AFL fantasy, 1 goal assist, 9 score involvements, a 405 metres game, 11 centre bounce attendance and 3 clearances. So a player has struggled in a new club, has find some good form, when he is ready to play some really good form, he will do well. Well done. And I have my with well done to Jano Kirby from Hawthorn Hawks and Cunt Oliver from the Judas Giants. Well done for getting to our next game for Saturday afternoon footy. Alright, so well done to the other two winners, which are, before we get into Brisbane and the Hawthorn Hawks, we come to another game. We are now over in from the MCG to Marble Stadium for Saturday afternoon footy. We got the first out of 3 Super Saturday footy. We got the Carlton Blues and West Coast Eagles went to head, and I got my final score on my screen. If you can see it wherever you get your podcast, this will be on the podcast as well, the YouTube. So Carlton Blues and West Coast final score is 17 goals, 15, 117 down, 9-10, 64. Another rebuild from West Coast. They have great performance. They are improving in the season, and I have noticed a lot of that. And I noticed a different way from West Coast since last season. Have played time to shine, and then it's few weeks for West Coast. This is not going to be easy, and lots of challenging through this. And West Coast will get better, stronger before. They will get better. They'll get stronger. They'll look better talent over the season. But this is not an easy season to head over to Melbourne and win, especially with Carlton in strong form. We'll share that very soon. Could Carlton play finals this year? This is going to be interesting. You never know what happens with Josh Fraser. He has found this Carlton Blues outfit. Michael Voss did the same thing, but Josh Fraser's really shown big wins. They're not just winning by 5-6 points. They've took on. They're winning by 4-5 goals. That's a big deal there. But West Coast do have those few games. Adelaide Crows at home. That'll be on Friday night. That'll be a good game. Adelaide Crows will be absolutely stunned. I will be sharing my thoughts for that very soon. West Coast, well, they'll be travelling to Marble. They'll take on the Dogs, and unsure with the Dogs at the moment, but there Brisbane, they'll be a big challenge. They'll be at home, and it's where their big rivals, 62nd Western Derby. That will be the Fremantle Dockers, and that will be also a away game, but it's in Perth. Never know. But Carlton, well done on the win. This is not just 2, not just 3, but 8 in a row. Big wins and small wins makes a big difference. Carlton are looking very strong. I did not have Carlton in my top 10 at all. Now things are going to be changing, and I may put them in the mix. I really have. I put them in the wild card. I'm not joking. This is very early in the season. If Carlton don't make the finals this season, which is all good with that, I completely understand why they're going through this season. Look out in the next couple of seasons, not this, maybe next season or the next one after, they're looking back in the mix again. So I'm done my thoughts and all of that for this game. Now, how many games thinking for Carlton should win the next 2 to 3 games? I think 2 to 3 wins are winnable out of 5. So Richmond, well, Carlton will take on Richmond away. They'll be in Melbourne. Hawthorn, that'll be a good game there from Carlton. That's in Melbourne. Collingwood in Melbourne. Gold Coast in Melbourne. Carlton, don't leave the Victoria from Marble and MCG will be their major grounds in the next 5 weeks. And absolutely, Richmond and Hawthorn and Collingwood are all the Victorian teams. Gold Coast, they'll be the major host game. So that will be some interesting games. Well, once again, well done Carlton on their 5th win. Can they go from 6 under Josh Fraser? Let's find out very soon. West Coast heads up all the best week. Let's now go into the Carlton Blues and West Coast Eagles best players of this game. Okay, we are heading into our play of the game. Sam Wells, well done on your game performance. 33 disposals, 4 marks, 4 tackles, 106 for offensively and 5 clearances. Well done to Sam Welsh. We have the West Coast Eagles best with Jack Graham included 23 disposals, 3 marks, 3 tackles, 88 for offensively, 7 score involvement, 17 centre bounce tenders and 4 clearances. Well done to the respectful 4 Samuels from Carlton Blues and Jack Graham from the West Coast Eagles best players for this game. We have really interesting rivals between Collingwood and Magpies versus Richmond Tigers at the MCG for Saturday afternoon, twilight afternoon football 2026 AFL Premiership season. This is not just one way, but this is quite an interesting way to see a rebuilding Richmond after improving week in, week out. So we have Collingwood and Richmond nets up with 15-16, 106 defeated, 11-6, 72 with Collingwood taking the chocolates here with a 4-10. Think of that, 34-point victory. This is a very good effort from Richmond, not leading a big blowout. First up, it's Richmond. Each game and each round will be a test, which is good. A rebuilding team is coming out of rebuilding to look at really good talent there. Could we see Richmond better at the end of the season? Yes, I think they can do that. Absolutely. Hopefully they can get at least one more win. Collingwood, another win, another big one to keep themselves alive for the finals race. It has not been a great month for Collingwood. The big question is Collingwood, or the big question, again, I'm going to say that again, is could we see Collingwood playing finals? Now, that's the question I cannot answer. But Richmond will play Carlton MCG Saturday night with Collingwood take on Gold Coast and People's First. So there's some really interesting facts. I really don't want to say too much about this fortune. I really think that Richmond are in the right direction. You know, Collingwood are just got so much talent with great experience, and Richmond will have that experience. They'll have that, and Collingwood will go through that pathway. Richmond will look better. So it's really you never know what happens. But anyway, it's enough trying to share my best players from Collingwood and Richmond. So Nick Dacos, 37 disposals, 6 marks, 3 tackles, 143 AFL fantasy, 1 goal, assists, 14 school involvements for 112 metres gained, 7 clearances, and I'm going to include 25 centre bounce attenders, no goals at all, but those 14 school assists involvements with that 1 goal assist is a big moment there. Big play for Nick Dacos. Well done on your performance. We come to the Richmond Tigers. You can't go past Tinch. Truetto is absolutely a star for Richmond. 26 disposals, 3 marks, 2 tackles, 4 goals. A great performance there with 105 AFL fantasy, 7th score involvement. Well done to Nick Dacos and Tim Truetto from the Collingwood and Richmond Tigers. Let's go to showdown number 60. What a game that was. Alright, we are up to the showdown 60 between Port Adelaide and Adelaide Crows at the Adelaide Oval for Saturday night footy. That is it. We are in Adelaide. Final score 13-19, 97 defeated, 11-5-71. Port Adelaide taking 26 points on the victory. So my facts are here. I'm going to share it. 3 years later, Port Adelaide wanted it more and they took the win. They earned it. Port Adelaide came out on top early and never look behind all game. Very true. It's been a long time to see again. Adelaide Crows will learn from a showdown in generally a game, and this game is a lesson learned. Adelaide, this is a lesson learned from the showdown. No matter where you're on the ladder, always bring that contest. No matter, that's what I mentioned, on the ladder. From 15th versus 5th, nothing really changed in a big way. Adelaide moved down to 6th, Port Adelaide stay on 15th, but it's a big difference. Adelaide had a very good month so far leading into the showdown. Don't know what's happened. After that Melbourne game, it really went down. And, you know, I'm knowing that Adelaide will bounce back and they will go to Perth and at Optus Stadium on a Friday night. They take on West Coast at Optus Stadium on a Friday night. Port Adelaide will host North Melbourne on Sunday afternoon. Final game for the round. Hoping Port Adelaide will bounce back from the last time these two met. Or can North Melbourne, can they make a statement? Now, I don't say too much of this, but I watched this game. From the very beginning of this match, we lost the clearance. After clearance, Port Adelaide won the 40. Oh, well, we had our moment, and it was a little bit too late, about 2.5 minutes to go in the final quarter. We knew. I knew about 10 minutes in the final quarter, not our way. And we just couldn't fight for it. I just didn't feel this was the passion showdown I've seen in years. Port Adelaide wanted more. They kicked back poorly, which they have done that. They're the best for it. And like accuracy. But kicking 6 goals for our first half is really, really not Adelaide. So, heads up Adelaide, bounce back against West Coast. Bad luck Adelaide, bounce back against West Coast. And I know that for Port Adelaide, they will continue on their momentum coming to take on North Melbourne in at Adelaide Oval for Sunday afternoon. All right, time to share my play of the game. It's time to share Zach Butters, include 37 disposals, 4 marks, 7 tackles, 102 40, 142 A for fantasy, 9 score involvement, 704 metres game, and 13 clearances. The most clearances player on the field of the whole game. He may not hit that goal, but got those 9 score involvements. A very good game performance. Jordan is LA's best from 25 disposals from 6 marks and 6 tackles, 108 A for fantasy, 5 score involvement, 1 goal assist, 460 metres game, 23 centre bounce attenders, 4 clearances. So I tell you right now, even Jordan Dawson tried to find those through the net, just couldn't find it. I knew that he's had one of the seasons I will never forget. I put him in the mix as the mix for the LA Crows, but Port Adelaide, well done. Adelaide, heads up. We know we'll bounce back. I'm a true passion Crows supporter, but I knew that Port Adelaide were going to really be in the contest, and they did it, and they were on top of it early. So, all right, on to our next game. We've got 2 more games. We'll find out in just a moment. Let's go there now. Well, Sunday afternoon, we've got a double header for Sunday tickets. We're at Marble Stadium for North Melbourne and Essendon Bombers. I can't say too much. I'm making this nice and smooth. I'm going to give you some true history, but the final score here is a 14-point final score. It's 1979, 9/11/65. The last time we received a wooden spoon from Essendon was back in 1933, 93 years in the history making. But the biggest question is, could Essendon get the #1 trophy? Could they get that? I believe they will. It is a test week in, week out for Essendon Bombers. This is now their second half. I think they will bring the contest. They will have to bring the contest. If they can do that, then they'll find that they don't have the greatest list, but they do have some talent for future for the Essendon Football Club, but they need to find something soon. Essendon will take on St Kilda at Marble Stadium on Sunday afternoon football. So Essendon's got to stay bright. You never know. If they can bring on and take on St Kilda really well, St Kilda's got a great talent in that midfield. So if Essendon can match them well, it'll be a good contest. But North Melbourne, take this win. The win is a win. Even against Essendon, they brought it, and I have respect. But when I see North Melbourne to be part of this season, each week from this Footy season, North Melbourne have improved, and I have seen it at the parts of the first half and coming into the start of the second half. Could we have North Melbourne break the record? Could we see North Melbourne break the record and get a win against Port Adelaide? They have not yet to win at the Adelaide Oval. We'll have to wait and see and what happens till then. It's now time to share my North Melbourne and Essendon, and I have said I'm making this nice and short. Let's get to the plans of the game. What do I do for North Melbourne and Essendon's best? Let's share that now. Alright, I'm just going to give it straight away. Howie Sicily for North Melbourne, including 43 disposals, 12 marks, 8 tackles, 173 over fantasy, 15 score involvement, 1 goal assist, 15 centre bounce attenders, and 4 clearances. Best modern North Melbourne player in the history. This is huge. This is the future of being one of the leaderships in this football club. Essendon's best is Sam Dursham, England, 25 disposals, 4 marks, 6 tackles, 2 goals, 108 A for fantasy, 8 score involvements, 1 goal assist, 70 bounce attempts, 5 clearances. Now, it's been a struggle season for Essendon, but this is a player that week in, week out can dominate. You can get a goal assist with 2 goals, but scoring that 8 score involvements, 6 tackles, you're working your radar. He's going to be in the mix for being a really good quality for Essendon. Well, heads up Essendon, all the best next week. Well, guess what? It's now time to share the final game, and well done again for North Melbourne to win. Let's go to off the stadium between the Dockers and the Sun. And we are there, my goodness. Sunday afternoon, twilight football here at Optus Stadium between the 3 and 2 top place against the unsure Gold Coast Suns. And here is for this. We are at Optus Stadium, 3 and 2 Dockers hosting Gold Coast. Final score 11-14-80, defeated 3-11-29. The lowest score of any team has done that against Gold Coast. Now, may I say this and be honest, Gold Coast, have they gone backwards in recent in history under Damien Hardwork? One of the worst performances I've seen in so long. very unsure what is happening with Gold Coast. They are a lot better than this. I put Gold Coast in my top 6. I'm unsure if they can play finals now. Now, in history, that they are the struggling teams who want to play finals. Hoping to see a Gold Coast Suns have a good few weeks, needed to wins, and I will share them very, very shortly. But big time, if Gold Coast want to play finals in for the race, they have to prove it. And here is Gold Coast's next few games ahead. So they are hosting Collingwood. Then they travel to Adelaide to take on the LA Crows. Western Bulldogs, they'll be hosting that game. Then Carlton away. So how many games Gold Coast will win? I'm hoping up to 2 games. They are possibility that they can win against possibility. The Western Bulldogs, I think they can do it, possibly against the LA Crows or even Carlton. Really upset those Scum Blues. But Fremantle Dockers on top, 14 wins in a row in front of their purple and white army. This is huge. This is which is great. History has broken. Are the Fremantle Dockers are the real deal to win the flag in club history? The flag. Too early, I know, to say that at this part of the season, all Fremantle have to do is they've got a very solid list and strength to take them to September. Has the long line, has he got it? Has the Fremantle Dockers, the team, the staff at the Dockers, can they make it happen? Well, they got the Giants away, possibility of win there. Then they attack on the Swans, hosting that game of the round. That'll be a really good test. Port Adelaide Oval, really be want to have to bring your best footy there. And then West Coast, they'll be hosting that. And as well, the 62nd Western Derby. So West Coast will bring it. And surely they'll bring some really good content. They are a lot better than I think. But you don't know. Could Fremantle really finish strong with only 1 loss for the whole season? Injuries will come, and this is what's going to be the big worry. You know, good time to rest some really good solid players that take a week off here and there. It is their second half of the season. This is up to round 20. I'm sharing for a few games. So, once again, well done to Fremantle Dockers with the win. Gold Coast heads up all the best next week. All right. That's it. We are done for my reviews for round 16, 2008 Premiership season. Oh, hey, no. Okie dokie. Kind of share my part of the game. I'm just going to get straight into Andrew Bradshaw. Well done, and you include. We got for that 29 disposals, 9 marks, tackles, 1 goal, 131 able fantasy, 10 score involvement, 1 goal assist, 15 centre bounce attenders, 654 metres game. And here's your Gold Coast Suns best player, 9 Anderson, 33 disposals, 8 marks, 3 tackles, 120 able fantasy, 6 score involvements, 507 metres game, 16 centre bounce attenders, and 8 clearances. Well done to the Fremantle Dockers, Andrew Bradshaw, and as well Ryan Anderson with a star for the Suns. And well done. So once again, Fremantle Dockers on your win. Alright, let's get you round 17 review right now. Alright, we got our round 17 previews, footy tips and predictions all booked in. All 18 teams are in. Every match, every matters. Every moment, every matters. But this is it. There's some pretty tough calls I have decided. And there's some not even close games. There's maybe up to between 2 or 3 goals, the lowest in that between 10 to 18 points and under. But mostly they're over 4 goals. I'll share my reasons. So we got Thursday night, couple Friday night games, and then a handful on the Saturday, and then finish up with a couple on the Sunday. So first up, we got some really good rivals here. So the Thursday night at the GMHBA Stadium, Geelong versus Brisbane, and I have chose Geelong to go for 25. The next game, we are on the first hour of Friday night football here on our screen, and I have gone on Sydney Swans and the Western Bulldogs, and I'm going to Swans, and they've got to take a 30-point victory there. We go to the West the West Coast Eagles hosting the Adelaide Crows. The Adelaide Crows are going to take this win by 36 points. Alright, we come to our next predictions, and it's a pretty tough call to share. We're now going to go out into our next game. Hawthorn versus Melbourne. Hawthorn by 27 points. Our next schedule for the Saturday is GWS Giants hosting Fremantle Dockers. Well, I'm going to say Fremantle Dockers by 5 points there. Our next game is the Gold Coast and Collingwood. Nothing else. A Collingwood victory there by a close 15 points. To wrap it up into the Richmond Carlton. Carlton a very 28 points, 29 points around that on your screen. And the final up, Essendon and St Kilda. St Kilda by 32 points. And as well, Port Adelaide versus North Melbourne, with Port Adelaide within a close battle of 15 points. So what do you think of these? If you enjoyed this today in this episode, make sure you give this a like, subscribe, and when you hear you follow you on the podcast. Yes, there's a lot going on, such as Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Amazon Music, wherever you get your podcasts, or whatever include of YouTube podcasts as well. We have this on video. Well, thank you so much for your support. I hope you enjoyed it. There we go. Let's wrap the show up. Yep, that's it. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. That's all, folks. BJ Show is out, and we'll see you next time for more the AFL, the SANFL, South Australian National Football League updates and all of that. If you like those big results, make sure you give Daz a like. Make sure you hit following, because, oh my goodness, thank you for your support. Thank you for your, it's been awesome. And we'll see you soon. Peace.